What's going on, y'all? It's Jared giving you what you need in news and interviews from Land Your Legends podcast. Today on the show, we got Mr. Daniel Washington. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
All right. He is a wholesaling professional in the real estate game. Most people don't know what wholesaling is. I met him in the Make Real Estate Real Facebook community group, and Jamal
Right.
King. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. But Daniel, please give a little bit of bio about yourself to my listeners and subscribers.
All right. My name is Daniel. Been doing wholesaling for like the last 3 years. Um, Not full time yet, but will be. Working in sales for over the last 13 years, or no, 20 years actually, but 13 years with this last company with Pepsi. Um, what else? Run three businesses. I have a bounce house business in sales. Got the wholesaling that is going to be full time, and actually have a cleaning business as well. So been doing those three things for over or the bounce house business for the 4 years, and cleaning for the 10 years. I've been doing that one, and the wholesaling for 3 years. So um, been very lucrative for me, man. A lot of people don't know about wholesaling. They think it's like traditional real estate, but it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, we about to get into that. We about to get into that. So, what pushed you into the real estate arena?
Actually, I was just doing sales like I normally do, and I actually started off drop shipping, and I started off with a company called DS Domination back in the day, and DS Domination was almost like a form of wholesaling, because what you would do is you would buy the products from China, and you didn't actually have to buy the products. You would just make a website, put them on your page, and then they will order from you, and then you would be like the middleman, and you will order the product from China, and then ship it out to the customer. So when I started doing that, I was just finding out about different avenues of making money, and I got into eBay, I got into Amazon, I started making my own products. And just with that, when you get into that arena and you start talking to different people and stuff like that, then that's when I learned out about real estate, and I always wanted to get in real estate. And I was like, yeah, let me check it out. And I actually started with my first program was with Mark Whitten. Uh, Mark Whitten out of, I think he out of Philly or somewhere. And I took his program, and I just got hooked, man. Once they was telling me about you don't need no cash or credit, and first I was like, man, that ain't real, man. I was like, yeah, So I kind of put it down for a minute, and once the kind of the drop shipping, some things that happened, and I kind of slowed down on the drop shipping as much, and I kept running across it again, and I was like, man, let me pick this real estate back up, and I ain't stopped since then, man.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. You got that hustle mentality. Um,
Right.
so, can you explain to my listeners what is actually wholesaling? A lot of people hear about it. Some people give it a bad name. Uh, People don't know that it's the signs that you see. I buy your houses for cash. But can you give a little bit more explanation on what this wholesale?
I wish I had one of my signs in here. I'll show it to you. Uh, Man, nah, but see, this is the thing that a lot of people in it, and a lot of people who get in the game, they try to run it like they're a traditional real estate agent, and that's not what you do in wholesaling. The wholesaling, all the wholesaling is the art of finding discount properties, and for people who need help with those properties that they can't sell traditionally on the market. So like a lot of houses that's like boarded up with windows and high grass and stuff like that, you can't traditionally sell those like a real estate agent. They don't really make no money off of those. So when a wholesaler comes in, is he just matched that property up with another investor, and he just becomes the middleman and find the project for the investor. So he helps the homeowner out and the actual investor out, and everybody wins at the end of the day.
Like, can you give people like an example? Like, if let's say you find a house, like how would you go ahead? What would be the process of you? I guess from start to finish. Like give a price point. Like let's say you find a house, it was like $60,000.
Oh, okay. All right. Example. All right. So uh, so say you got a property. You find a property, right? You see, you're driving around. It's boarded up. It got high grass, windows busted out, stuff like that. Um, and let's say this property, the ARV, which is the after repair value, goes for, let's say average in New Orleans in our area is 150,000, 160,000, right? So, but the current value of the property as is not 150 and 60,000. So the homeowner would have to get it up to that range to sell the property and get that price for the property. So in that current as is condition, it may be 30,000, 40,000, something like that. So what your objective is to see if basically if you can find that homeowner, ask them if they are willing to sell the property to you. And there's of course there's a couple of different instances they have to have. They have to make sure they have any liens or on any mortgages or stuff like that, outstanding mortgages that you have to pay. But what you would do is you would get the property under contract for a certain price. So let's say if it's worth, let's say, all right, it's worth 150,000. Um, you get it under contract for 40,000, and what you'll do is get an assignment, and you assign your rights to your contract over to the investor for 50,000, and you'll make that 10,000 spread in the middle.
Okay. All right.
But
Go ahead.
you got to make sure that it's still a good uh room on the bone for the investor to make his money as well. And you just found that most investors, if they can make 20 to 30,000, they fine, so so if you get it to them at 50,000 and they put another 50 to 60,000 in it, they still got another $40,000 in equity, and that they can make on the deal. Plus, they'll pay the closing costs and stuff like that. So they'll get out of there with 40, maybe 30,000, and everybody wins. The homeowner gets that property for whatever we went under contract with. They will get the 40,000. I get the $10,000 for it, and the homeowner will get I mean, the investor will get their money on the back end when they sell it.
Okay. And when you find in these houses, who are usually I guess the homeowners with the distressed properties?
Different situations. Like a lot of times, like I run across situations where, like either if it's vacant, tired landlords that don't want to, because the difference with wholesaling and traditional real estate, most of the time is that an investor can buy the property cash. Well, traditional real estate deal, you got to go to the bank and get funding and stuff like that. Difference with investor, they have the cash already sitting on hand, so the transaction can be closed fairly quickly. And somebody that's like, just say if they had one situation where uh, this guy, he was moving to another state, and it was a job transfer, and the house wasn't really as bad. It wasn't more of a beat up house, because you don't have to. It's not all just beat up houses as well. It's just different situations, and he couldn't wait for a traditional real estate agent to put his house on the market. Wait 2 to 3 months. Wait and what you call. So he needed to close the deal pretty quickly, and so we came in, brought my investors in, and we closed the transaction within 30 days.
Oh, okay. So you got it done within 30 days. So usually if you're dealing with a real estate agent, the closing process is always longer, usually,
Not all the time, but most of the time.
most of the time. Okay.
No, not all the time. They have some agents that but what is some. Let me not just say it's just the agent, but they got to wait on the funding from the bank. So that process by itself. If you're not dealing with that bank, and let's say if you're a new investor, like just the paperwork alone, it could be, uh, 2 to 3 weeks, and then you got to list it, and then you got to take offers and stuff like that. So it could stretch out, from over some transactions happen in a month, but no, most likely not in the time, not to get it sold pretty quickly.
Okay, that's understandable. All right. So, what type of? How do you find these distressed properties? Like, do you use applications? Do you just drive around and look for them? People
Uh,
contact you?
they got different ways. Driving, if somebody who's just getting started, let's say if you brand new out the box, fresh out the pack, I say the easiest way is driving for dollars, and they call it D for D. If you ever hear somebody say D for D, I mean driving for dollars, and what you do is you just write down property addresses of houses that's that's boarded up, high grass, it look like they vacant, and you just write the addresses down, and then you'll go onto the Orleans Parish, well, like I say, whatever your county is and your your assessor's office is, you'll go type in your county and assessor, and then that's what you do. You find out all the property owners' name and their mailing address, because sometimes the mailing address will be different from their property. Um, then what you'll do after that, you take down their name, and you'll go on to any like trying to think of all the free services that I use, because I still use some of them. I got a lot of more paid stuff now, but uh, what's the one I used to all the time?
Is it Home Snap? 'Cause I heard about Home Snap.
No, I don't use HomeSnap too much. No, I'm talking about for the trace to get the owner's phone
Oh,
number.
the tracing. Yeah. Okay.
Skip tracing. Now they got paid services. Like for me, I use batch skip tracing. I just get a list of numbers, list of addresses, and I send it to batch. They get it back to me in like one day with all the phone numbers, possible phone numbers for them. Now, of course, you got to run through a lot of numbers. Sometimes it's the wrong number.
Right.
Sometimes people like, you get on there like, what you calling me for? And, all that type of stuff, you know. But,
What's
it's
what's skip tracing? So people who don't know what that is.
skip tracing is just finding, it's the order finding like the person's email address and phone number, possible phone number and email address for a potential subject that you may have. And you could do it with any, insurance agents, what you call it, like they do it all the time. You get those calls out the blue, like they skip trace your number from somewhere.
Okay.
Mm. Um, but they got a lot of free ones that you can use. Well, because when I remember when I was starting out, it was money was tight, so a lot of people want to do, they want to do it is when they say no cash, no credit, like you really could do it no cash, no credit. Now here's the thing, it will take time, but you gotta understand that either you got more time or you got more money. You gotta pick one battle to go with. You know. True people search. True people search is good.
Okay. That's
True
how you
people
found.
search.
That's how you found the property owners of the distressed property.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So you go to True People Search, then they'll give you some possible phone numbers. And there's an art to do that too. You want to match up the exact name. Sometimes they have like a middle name. You can put that in if possible. And they're pretty accurate. You'll be surprised. And you give them a call and you say, man, you just hit them. Say, I seen a property that I think is vacant, and I was just wondering if you was willing to sell. And there's only a few answers they can give you. They can tell you screw off. They can tell you, you know, you know, uh, how did you get my number? That's
What's the process of when you trying to? How do you close someone that you've never met before, never talked to? How you close it? Like, do you have like a script that you go through?
yeah, they have different scripts that you use, but most of the time, man, and most of the time you want to use a script just more as like a base. You don't want to use a script and be robotic. This will help me, and like since I've been doing sales for so long. Um, is you have to build that rapport with a person. You don't want to just go in and be like, nah. You of course you want to call when you call and say, hey, what's the reason for my call? Like, I'm not just calling you like we went to school together. But after that,
Right.
you want to find out what's going on with the property. So let's just say like you find somebody and you say, hey, I was interested in the property. We brought some properties in the area, and I was just wondering if you'd like to sell your property. I seen that it was vacant, and let's say if they get to talking with you, and you want to find out as much history on the property as possible. You want to find out, why it's vacant. Um, how long it's been vacant. Was it an investment house? Was it um, a house that they used to stay in and stuff like that? And then you basically you actually get off of the house and you just find out what's going on with this situation. That's the main thing. And you'd be surprised, man. A lot of people is not as bad as people think they are.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, I always like to ask this question. So, what was the worst thing you ever did in wholesaling, or your biggest mistake in wholesaling, and how did you come back from that?
Oh man, my first deal, man. My
Okay.
first deal, man. All right, I'll run the whole situation with you. And I was so geeked up off the class when I came out, and I was like, all right, boom, I'm gonna do this, So I went about it the total wrong way, like because I was thinking I was, and that's why I tell people do not run this like traditional real estate. So I found a property that was listed with an agent, which is now I do deals with agents, but back then I didn't know what I was doing. So this was a REO property, which is all it's saying is real estate owned and it's a bank property. So basically, it already then went through the foreclosure property, but I mean the foreclosure process, but they couldn't sell it. So the bank has it again, and banks they don't. That's another thing. Wholesalers help banks out as well because banks don't want. They're not in the business of holding on to property. They're in the business. They're in the mortgage business. And if that property is not making them no money, they don't want to be holding on to a property and trying to sell it. Like that's why they got real estate agents. But
Okay.
I got the property and now remember I'm supposed to be doing this with no money, no cash, no credit. But I'm so geeked up, like I'm talking to the agent and like it was a rundown property. So I was like, it fit the criteria. So I talked to the agent, like instead of me talking to you want to talk to the homeowner, you don't want to talk to a real estate agent because a
Why
lot
not?
once it gets to the real estate agent, you I always got a saying you want to buy something not for sale and not for sale. Once it's for sale, then it's more on the traditional side. You
Okay.
know, now unless now like I said, I'm in the process of doing one with an agent right now that's actually on the market, and then she gave me something that's off market. But as long as you get it under the price, that's not retail, then you can wholesale it.
Okay.
And as long as the contract is assigned. So I got this property, and it was you familiar with the Luling area, like in
Lula.
Luling?
That's in the
Yeah.
east, right? You going towards
No,
the
no,
east.
no, Luling, like right by Destrehan, like going
Oh
towards,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
out that way. So in the country, man. So I got this property. Um, it was bad. So I went. So another agent had it. It was two agents. One agent was the buyer agent, one was the selling agent. So I ran across the lady, and she was like, "Yeah, I got this property." And like me and she was sending me deals. So when I saw it, I was like, "Let me go check it out." So I checked it out, and she was like, "Yeah, it's on this. It's been on the market, and they haven't been able to sell it." So it fit all the criteria. Now, and like mind you, I'm new, so I'm not really knowing. Like I'm trying to get the ARV, and like my numbers not coming back all the way correct. I thought it was correct. Now that I looked at it, like from being on it for a couple years now, like I could have made money off this deal, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I I got it under contract. Like it was like I said, it was distressed. It needed like a lot of work, but it wasn't a big house. So I got it under contract for I want to say 30,000, which was for this house was too much. Um, and she was like the agent that had it. She do a lot of bank on property, so she said that I had to put on a EMD. So what that is, an EMD is just an earnest money. Is like a good faith deposit, saying that you're gonna perform on the deal. So I told her she was asked for 1,000. I was like, well, we usually only put down 500 on our properties. I was trying to put down 200 actually, and she was like, no, you got to at least put down 500. So I went to put down the 500. Uh, and I went to basically I still had the contract for 30 days, so I had 30 days to perform on the contract. So once I got the contract with her, I had the 30 days until if I didn't perform on the contract, then I'll lose my earnest money. So after I got the contract with her, I went to trying to find a buyer for it, and man, it was everybody looked at this property was like, no way.
What
it,
what is up? What's earnest money?
it's like it's just a good faith deposit. It's like saying that you're gonna perform on the contract. Like
Okay.
it's just saying it's basically a deposit, you know,
Okay.
and it goes towards the deal. If you perform, you get it back once you perform on the deal, or if you don't perform on the deal. But you got a window until you got time to perform on it. So if you go past that window, you lose your money. So you got to make sure you perform within that window. So uh, but I tried it. I had a website. I tried to put it on my website. Nothing. I put it on the different websites, Craigslist, Facebook. Back then wasn't popping with the marketplace how it is now. So I put on Craigslist. I had my website, which was just like more of like a buyer's website, and everybody. And I was in the New Orleans RIA, which is the association for the vet investors down here. So I put it on their website too, and man, everybody was saying like they was trying to. I had a couple of people biting, but the prices that they wanted it at was too low, and I tried to go back and renegotiate with the real estate agent, and she was like, no, she ain't having it. So basically, time ran out, and I had to go take the walk of shame, and I mean the drive of shame because they was out in the class. I had to go back and tell them like I couldn't perform on the contract, and uh, that I needed the earnest money back. And the lady was like, "Oh, they wasn't too upset, but like the lady had kind of hit me up a little later on that day, and she was like, "Yeah, and take it off of that website you got it on too." I was like, oh man, she didn't figure me out, like and I think she was gonna she wasn't worried about me wholesaling because wholesaling is not like it's illegal or anything, but she wanted me to perform on a contract and I didn't, and she was like just so she could sell it, and she wound up selling it way further because she was talking about I got buyers and all that, and she didn't. Like it took a whole another year for her to sell it, but
Okay.
yeah, but it if I would have got it for the right price that I should have got it under contract for, I probably would have made it probably would have been much, maybe $5,000-6,000, but you know, um I'd have been $5,000-6,000 richer than $0.
Right. Exactly. All right. So, what was that moment when you knew that wholesaling was success and you want to stick with it? This is what I'm going to do.
uh, Actually, when I help somebody else,
Okay.
I actually helped somebody else, man. I was calling about a deal, and I still haven't done the deal. And like after that, what you call it, kind of took a blow for me, but I knew it was real, so I didn't stop. But I wasn't as aggressive as I was, but I was kind of just calling like Craigslist ads and stuff like that. And I called this one. and this young lady, she had it under contract, and she was like, she thought like I was the real buyer, and she because I was calling as like I was the buyer, and we wind up talking. And I was like, "What you trying to do? You trying to wholesale it?" She was like, "Yeah, I don't really know about this, and I'm kind of, So I helped her and worked the numbers with her, and I helped her sell the deal out. And when we JV'd on it, like I didn't make that much on it. I just told her give me like 2,500, and
Mm-hmm.
she made maybe 8,000.
Okay.
And what you call it was like 1250, something like that, the whole deal all together. And I was like, man, I was like, it's time to take off now. Once I got that first money in my pocket, man, I was like, it's really time to take off after that.
Okay. So what are the challenges of being a wholesaler in real estate?
Time.
Time.
You need
Okay.
you need time to do it, man. It's with any business, you can put as much money, you can have all the money you want. If you don't put the time into it, like it's not gonna work. You know. Um, and if just saying, let me think. Real estate agents that don't know, about wholesaling, you'll be surprised of the whopping number of real estate agents that then had deals wholesale right under their nose, and they don't. If they got 100 agents in the room, maybe five of them know about wholesaling.
Okay.
You know, like you think that they know is popular as it got now, but still a lot of people don't know. So if you run across an agent and you telling or him that you may be trying to do a wholesaling deal and you're gonna wholesale it, they're like, oh, that's illegal and you can't do that. And
Yeah, because people don't know about it at all. Like people really don't know anything about wholesale.
yeah, they thinking it's illegal because um the way that some people try to go about doing it, and you can't wholesale a deal like if it's for a traditional agent, let that agent have that deal and let them do their thing. You more or less to help a homeowner out of a situation, a tough situation that they may
Okay. Uh, I got a comment from one of our
have.
viewers right now. What's up, Jody Brown? Hey, what up, Jody? She want to know, is wholesaling a viable now during the pandemic?
Yeah, I'm about to lock up a property. Maybe today or tomorrow. Me and my partner going to see one. It's kind of different because um, you need once you get the property under contract, you need to get keys and or security codes to the lockbox. And a lot of the agents, what they're doing is they're just putting a lockbox on and just letting you go check it out yourself. They're not doing if an agent has it locked up, like if that's traditional with an agent. If it's a homeowner, like a lot of times they don't, sometimes they'll meet you at the property,
Mm,
but they'll tell you like, well, I'll meet you there, unlock it or something like that, and let check out because you have to get your investors in there to take pictures and look at it and check out the foundation and stuff like that. But
okay.
it's definitely, man. Look, it's popping. People making money.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you said you have deals with real estate agents. How does that work with a wholesaler and real estate agent? How's that agreement work out?
um, it's traditional, man. If you look on any wholesale, I mean, on any assignment, I mean, on any real estate contract, as long as it's a assignable, and mostly all contracts with uh agents are assignable. As long as they say non-assignable, and that'll be like that bank-owned property that I try to do, and
Mm,
those are not assignable. So even if I would what you call it, I would have to do something what's called a double close. I would have to use what they call transactional funding. I would have to buy it first and then close on it with the investor afterwards. So I'll have to buy it for like 10 minutes and then close on it right after.
okay. All right, I understand it. I heard about that. All right. So being a wholesaler, being a man of color, have you had any issues when trying to wholesale a property? Like,
Uh, not, not in faith. You'll be surprised. Like a lot of people on the phone, I can tell. Like the way I talk and stuff like that. Like some people
mm,
they know and they didn't well, they wasn't blatantly out and saying this, but you know they might call you, don't call me, or not, but nothing like nothing out the way that any black person to say themselves,
right, right, right. Okay.
it's not nothing now. Man, people in real estate trying to make money for the most part, man. Like they don't care. That's the good thing about real estate. They don't. You could be a convict and um you know you could go in and make a killing, man. It's really it's about the deal. To be
Okay.
honest with you.
What are the requirements to being a wholesaler? Do you need any certification, any type of training, any course that you have to take?
I recommend taking courses. I'm actually in the process of putting together a free course for everybody. Just for stuff that I didn't know when I started that can help out. And because like when I started, man, like a lot of people don't have that type of money to put out. And if somebody telling them no cash, no credit, I can't pay for a course too,
Mhm.
like like that $25-$30 might be my gas money for the week, man. So um I recommend taking a course if you can find, like I said, even Mark Whitney, his course like $20. He got like a little starting out course, that the one I took, and it's gonna give you like the information because you need like the contracts and uh stuff like that to get on kind in scripts and stuff like that, just so you can find the basis. But like man, a lot of stuff you can learn on YouTube, but no certifications though. You don't need any certification. No.
Cool. All right. So, besides doing the wholesaling thing, we discussed that you had any your other business. What are your other ventures that you do right now?
I run a company called Party Starters, man. It's a bounce house, spacewalk, water slides, tables, chair rentals. That's my weekend business, man. Uh, I've been doing that one for the last probably as long as wholesaling, like a little bit, 3-4 years. And man, it's like in New Orleans, man, there's always parties. So so it was a no brainer for me, man. Like I started off with one of them. And man, I pimped that one out like I had five of them for like 6 months. I was telling people, man, you gotta hurry up and get it, man, because I got a lot of customers. And, and man, and then I just killed it with customer service, man. Like I got people up who I started out with, um, years ago, and I was like, I just made sure I took care of them. So they told somebody, and that person told somebody else, and it just snowballed from there. So now I got I'm up to 11 units now in 3 years. So man, it's been a blessing for me, to be honest with you. And it's something I could do with my family. Like I have my kids, they that's like their little summer work, and my fiance out there with me, so it's a family business.
I like that. I like how you treat your family and making it a family business. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. They try to cut me on my money. They try to they want to raise and all. But man, yeah. It was because I was like, I already had like like I said, Pepsi is my full-time job, and like it takes a lot of my time. So um, I was like, if I'm gonna do something, I got to do something that where I could bring my family, and I don't want to have another job to where I gotta be away and I can't bring them with me. Like even my cleaning business, like I have that for over 13 years, but like they could come with me to that, like Pepsi they can't,
Okay.
so like it's decent at Pepsi, what you call it, but like it's nothing like having your freedom, man. Like and all on so many different levels. Like so many people caged in mentally and physically to a job, and they don't understand like how important that time is, man. Is vital, and you want to spend that time with you want to spend that time with the people who mean the most to you. You don't want to be giving that time to other people who in any given day, like they'll cut you off, and they
Mhm.
don't care about you like that. The people
Right.
who at home with, that's the people that matter.
Right. Because when you're an employee, you just a number.
Just a number, man. I seen this, man. They didn't cut so many people over there. Like, oh, I've been over there for 13 years, man. I didn't seen different type of stuff, man. Like uh, just stuff that they'll cut people off and then hire some more people right after. It's like it's a numbers thing. Like they got to get their numbers down for a certain amount of time and then they got rehire again. But the person who you didn't let go, man, they might have a mortgage and kids at home. And what you gonna say? Oh, my bad. Like
Right.
you know.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So what made you start doing the cleaning business?
Cleaning business, man. My daddy, man, he a hustler, man. Like he owned the print shop, and my daddy owned the print shop right right next door for a while. He ran a print shop by himself, and like he was like, man, me and my sons could come in there and do that, man, and cause he did a lot of the printing for it's a lawyer's company and a lawyer's building, and he was like, man, me and my sons could do that, and him and my brother started doing it at first, and then my brother moved, and he was doing he had like a little wash and wax business, so his business had then grown. Like how the guys that be at the gas station, you got
Yeah.
like the what you call, like, let me put a little wax on, But man, he had then grown that to like he was making like over 300,000 a month. No, I mean 300,000 a year. Like, and
Okay.
just on from the gas station, and like he had got his own office in Alabama, so he moved. And then my dad was like, man, I need somebody else to come in, so I moved. So my pops, he got into real estate, and man, he didn't exit it, so he even brought some more property in Mississippi. Man, he moved out there, and he was like, look, you you could have it. So so, he come down here and check, but like, man, basically I run it out. I got some ladies that work under me, man, and I just got into it like that, just kind of more like a family type thing, and I've just been running ever since.
Right. See, that's what I've been trying to teach people about generational wealth. People, we've been taught to just go to work, save my own money, um, work a 9 to 5, retire at 65.
Uh,
But that's not passing anything down to your next generation. When you build a business, or you buy real estate, or you buy stock, you can pass that down to generational wealth. So
yeah,
that's why I like doing this platform to interview people like you, especially because you just proven what you learned from your daddy, and now you're bringing it down to your children, which is his grandchildren. So you keep bringing it on to the next generation.
yeah, man. Look, my daddy, he ran his business. Like, he done a bid, man. He came home, and this is, there's no knock, and I always tell it is like my mama, she a nurse, she made good money. She done like the traditional school route and all that. Like my daddy, he done like the streets. Came home, was behind, or went into that shop, brought the shop from the owner after before the owner passed away. Ran the shop for a while, opened a cleaning business, got into the real estate, sold a couple of properties. Now, my dad had been retired since he was 52, man. He's been retired for a couple of years now, and my mama's still working, so, like, so, she got that quote unquote good job, and,
Right.
but you still steady turning up, man. Look, and I just figured out, man, once I seen like a couple of people at Pepsi and stuff like that, they uh they let go, like some good friends of mine, they let go for no reason, and I was, and like, that was like when I really was like, man, I got to get into this real estate, because I was like, I'm not gonna let that happen to me, like, and
Right.
they came in and they laid them off, and like I said, that was the situation. They brought some more people in like a couple months later. I'm like, why would you lay people off that's actually doing their job, but like it was just part of business. And I was like, man, look, I started just getting into it and started reading, and I read that Robert Kiyosaki book. If you want, that's what did it. That Rich Dad Poor Dad, man. I
Okay.
read that Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that junk took the lid off my head and dumped. I was like, whoa, whoa, this I never thought about stuff like this.
Yeah, that's a good
And
book.
man, and that was that. And look, and if you ever get, and I keep this by my side, if you ever Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough.
Mm.
This the book to read, man. This,
Okay.
I keep this like the Bible, you know. You get that, man, and man, it just take off, man. It's a different way of thinking. The way that they trying to program us, and with school. Think about it like this: when you're in school, right? Um, you start off as a kid. They start programming you from day one with they got you ringing a bell. They got a bell that make you go to class. They want you to sit down. They want you to be quiet, and not do nothing, not talk with others. And that's all. That's the main way that you make money is, well, you gotta talk to people, man. Like you don't make no money from not talking to people. You make money from talking to people. And you start getting into this program. So when you go to work, you gotta go clock in. You gotta wait for, if you're on the yard, you gotta wait for a whistle, until it's time to clock in and stuff like that. And now you've been programmed from when you was a little kid to adult, and you just fall in line just like everybody else, and you start just going with the paradigm of just working day in and day out, and you're not realizing, like, you're missing critical time with family and stuff like that. And they don't got no more goal, like the days of the gold watch and a payoff plan is that's over with, man.
Right.
Them days ain't happening no more.
You talking about pensions and all that? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
old.
this is gone, man. That was with our grandpas and them. They was the last generation for that, you know. And they wasn't going for it, Like my grandpa ran he had a cleaning business and a grass cutting business that he ran to, like, after he got out of that work field stuff. So man, I would say it like this: if you don't have like a job, more or less, or like that's needed, like I say, like the medical field or something like that, where you actually changing somebody's life, or you know stuff like that. But like, just like a regular, I'm just talking about that, you know no knock, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But like, just say if you just got like a grocery store job, like, you're not really, you use that as just like a springboard to get to whatever your next thing is.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. You use your main job to buy assets that make you money while you're sleeping.
Right, and that's the problem with our people, man. We want party, and I was a victim of this myself.
Me
I was,
too. Me too.
and I had too much fun. I was like, man, Then one time I made 30, I was like, man, look, I was like, something got to change, man. You spending more than what you're making. You partying. You chasing this one, chasing that one, and you was like, man, you gotta you gotta get something together, man, because now you have kids now. At first I ain't had no kids, so like it was just me. So you get kids and a family and stuff like that. You gotta figure something out, man, because those kids, like, they ain't asked to come here, and you gotta make sure you make a way. They don't want to hear nothing about you ain't make enough money. They want to hear, like, can I have that? And that's the best way to be. Now, they ain't gonna be able to get everything, but you want to
Right.
have like an avenue to where you say, like, daddy or mom out here hustling, and we making a way for you, stuff like that.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to bring you back when I do a real estate segment, round table. When I bring in you as a wholesaler, I'm gonna bring somebody as a real estate agent, broker, and I'm gonna bring a contract work, and I want to do like a real estate round table and just answer
Yeah.
comments from my listeners and subscribers.
Oh yeah, they definitely do that, man. Because they got some good real estate agents out there. I work with a couple of them that actually know the game. They're not all of them in the dark. Because some of them investors themselves.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, man, this definitely appreciate you having, man. It's a cool platform, man. I like your setup, man. I'm gonna have to go get me a setup. I got the weight bench in the back and stuff. I was like, man, I need to get a setup like this.
Yeah. This is my second episode when I got a little green screen in the back. So, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it look good, man. Look good.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments. I got one from do you know a Jocelyn Hunter? She said, "What's up?" She said she knows you.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Josh? That's my girl, man. Me and Jocelyn went to school together, man.
Yeah,
Jocelyn is a very smart young lady right there,
yeah. The
man.
it's doctor now. She got a doctor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dr. Job. My bad, Dr. Job. Yeah.
All right, all right. And somebody, one other say thank you. Tremaine Thomas says thank you. We
Oh,
appreciate
appreciate it.
you. All right,
Thank
man. I
you.
appreciate you, man. What let the people know your social media handles. I've been playing it throughout the whole podcast, but just let them know how they can reach you.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Washington on Facebook is just my regular page, but if you want dropping stuff on real estate, I put it on. We got a group called um, "I Will Quit My Job" or "Quit Your Job" on Facebook, and "I Will Quit My Job" on Instagram. Man, I just try to and go to my website is IWillQuitMyJob.com, and I'm updating the website right now, so don't beat me over the head. But I'm working on it. But I'm turning it to where you learn how to make money online and offline, like I said, because I didn't create products. I didn't I didn't been a side entrepreneur for the last 13 years. So like a lot of stuff our community don't know, and I got that information. I just want to try to pass it on to people and see, like, like I never forget when I helped that girl make that money on that deal. Like she was so excited, like because she didn't know what she was doing, and then I was like, she don't know, like you helping me in the same aspect. But when you can help somebody out, man, like it's crucial. Yeah, check me out on those. Like check out Quit Your Job Facebook page, and it's like a community group. We try to help each other. We try to make at least some side income, man, so you could buy them kids some stuff, man.
Thank you for coming on the show. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and other podcast platforms. Make sure you like the Facebook page, Lanyard Legends. Please, just please share and subscribe. And until next time, thank you, David, for being on the show. It was a great podcast. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you, appreciate it, bro.
All right, we out, y'all.
All right.